This will be a tutorial playthrough, so I'm gonna play it with a tutorial. I'm gonna play until the tutorial ends. From what I believe, where the tutorial ends, and I'll complete. Whoops, and then I'll be completing the 2 contracts at the end of the tutorial to make it a full tutorial type of playthrough. I'm not gonna plan other missions, I'm just gonna follow the tutorial exact. And I'm gonna read out loud. Important info. Welcome, Director. Your mission is to lead us to the conquest of the solar system and beyond. We're about to schedule our first flights into space, then to the moon and other planets. Eventually, we'll colonize, terraform, and perhaps one day venture to the stars. I'll be your assistant. Look for the information in the top left corner here. Okay, welcome. As your assistant, I will guide you through the basics of managing our agency. Click on Earth icon to open the object panel. Our first contract, first orbit. We're ready for our big launch to start off, but put a brand new space telescope in low Earth orbit. It will help us scout suitable locations for future missions. We're gonna deliver the space telescope into Earth orbit to observe Lunar. We're gonna get 100k and unlock the Explore Lunar. So we're gonna click Earth Object. This is the Object Information panel. It contains all information about the planet, as well as buildings and rockets you have on it. You can begin planning missions from it. So here's the buildings, and here's the potential rocket. Select your destination. Expand on the Objects tab to see its associated orbits and moons. Earth orbit. Select your destination selected. We can plan the rest of the mission. I technically did this. This is my second time doing this tutorial video. For the first time I realized I was mute, sadly. But this time I know I'm not mute. So in the first attempt of me talking, I brought up this. How maybe you could make it an optional thing right here, saying to rename it to, it could be anything related, but just to ease people into this mechanic of the game, which is renaming. Not that because you can't rename it once things are out in motion, so this helps a bit if it was right here as an optional, not requirement, as it allows people to at least acknowledge it exists. We're gonna name this Satellite Payload. I don't know if Satellite has 2 T's. Satellite Payload. Next, okay, spacecraft are vehicles designed for traveling between planets and orbits. Click the chosen spacecraft, then click Next. Okay, this is the cargo screen. Click on Add Module to add the telescope module. To add the telescope, modules are built like facilities, but can be moved to different locations to perform their functions. We're gonna add the module. Launch vehicles deliver payloads into orbit and are essential for getting off of large planets, but are not used for space travel. Select Sparrow and click Next. Important info. Launch vehicles. Launch vehicles are optimized for moving things from surface to orbit, but aren't capable of traveling to other planets. They're primarily used for launching cargo and spacecraft from Earth's surface or other planets, where either gravity is high or a given spacecraft lacks thrust. We're gonna begin. You can adjust the launch date here. Usually it's best to launch as soon as possible. Press OK to begin the mission. Maybe how when you load the game there's tips. I don't know if maybe I haven't stumbled upon it, but maybe a tip on why you'd want to launch. Obviously common sense could say why, but like, you know, it's having it part of the tips and all that, you know, a fun tip and trick, you know, even though it's like a bit common sense. But unpause and wait. It's time to use your telescope. Open the exploration panel. Hey Lunar. Press accept to begin observation of the object. This will reveal what resource deposits can be found there, but not how rich they are. So we're gonna change this to the orbit and then Luna. Then we're gonna accept. Object completed. First orbit telescopes are delivered. Systems check path. We're ready to observe objects in outer worlds. Reward unlock contract explore Luna 100k. I don't think we get a stipend yet. No, not yet. Select Earth. Okay, so this is our contract. Explore Luna. It's time to send a probe to Earth's companion. Prepare a spacecraft to deliver a probe to Luna. It will allow us to search for resource deposits on the lunar surface. So we have to construct the iris on Earth, a probe on Earth, and then deliver the probe to Luna. Now, I know because of the first tutorial video that recently I did and failed to capture my voice, I know that the tutorial says to when you launch to include other modules you have built. Maybe since it's the tutorial, for the sake of the tutorial sake, have the player build those modules so they understand what basic modules might be sent to a planet for either just general use. We're gonna click OK. Gonna construct. Select the spacecraft you want to construct, the Iris. Accept and begin building. You will get notification when it's finished. Okay, speed up time and wait for the construction to finish. Now for the sake of the tutorial's sake, I'm only following it, so I'm not gonna do extra stuff. So like, normally I would have orbital construction ready, a few probes already launched. When I sent the first probe to the satellite, I would have already had some missions set up for one for Mars, because that's gonna take a while, and by the time these missions complete, that probe should already be kind of there. Probe for Venus. There are several other probe for the Phobos moon and Deimos. There are some asteroids out here. Normally the tutorial doesn't do this, but I'm not gonna. I guess I'll reveal. So I know this is a future mission, but you can't technically reach that. So like the closer ones, I know this is reachable. I've done probes there. I've done probes to Eros, if I can find Eros. And I believe Ganymede is possible. It's not the Ganymede in Jupiter. It's the Ganymede. Where is it? I think it is. Oh yeah, it might be. I think there's another Ganymede, but I think you can reach this one. I'm not too sure, but normally those are the missions that I send out probe wise, because I can. Because usually the Stratos isn't researched yet, and usually I would research already way beforehand. I feel like research should be the first thing in terms of tutorial. But if there's an intended reason for the research to be delayed, it makes sense. Usually mobile refineries, I make them overriding because Luna requires it as well, and the construction and mining. But for the tutorial's sake, I'm not gonna do it since it hasn't instructed me to. Okay, so we're gonna speed up time and wait for construction to finish. We're gonna do 2 speed. Now it didn't tell me to create the probes. So it's gonna have me construct this, yep, and then the probe. Open the facility and module construction. Okay. And then we're gonna select the probe module for the modules list. Unlike stationary facility, modules can we already know what that says. We're gonna accept. And we're gonna wait for construction to finish. Okay, so begin planning a mission by pressing the plan mission button. We're gonna do the alternative since the first time we did. I've never done the drag in the first tutorial one, but since this technically allows me, it's telling me to, you can alternatively. Gonna do that. So we're gonna grab the probe. We're gonna zoom in on Luna. Whoops. We're gonna drag. Okay, with the destination selected, we can plan the rest of the mission. We're gonna rename this Luna Probe. As we're leaving Earth's orbit, we need a spacecraft. Select Iris. It's light, cheap, perfect for delivery probes. Important info. Spacecraft. Spacecrafts are vehicles designed for traveling between planets' orbits. They vary greatly in thrust and efficiency, with some being able to launch from lower gravity worlds unassisted, while others can travel great distances with minimal fuel. They're the primary way of transporting cargo and crew between places. Okay, we're gonna select Iris, I mean. As we're leaving Earth's orbit, we need a spacecraft. Select Iris, it's light. Okay, we're gonna connect. Make sure the probe is selected. We want to search the moon for resources. I dragged it, so okay. Select the launch vehicle provided. Use the launch vehicle provided. Okay, let's not waste time and launch as soon as possible. Technically, I should be doing this, as I don't want to waste fuel, and it's not using the most from what I see. Effective delta V, or is it? Because it's saying minimum. It's not really changing the day. Yeah, it's not really changing the day. Anyways, but maybe this could be explained in the tutorial, maybe? Like, maybe not, actually. I don't know, maybe. Okay, so we're gonna launch. Okay, we're gonna wait, unpause and wait. Luna probe. Contract completed. Explore Luna. Touchdown confirmed. Data feed established. We'll be getting survey data on resource deposits soon. Finding out what riches lay on the moon. We got 400k. Unlock contract Lunar landing. Okay, so open the research window. So we're gonna find the research Stratos. Lunar landing. It's time for a grand return to the moon. Construct our most powerful launch vehicle and a spacecraft capable of bringing crew to the moon and back, and accomplish the mission. We're gonna research Stratos, construct Stratos on Earth, construct Eagle on Earth, launch vehicle, and then deliver 5 crewmen to Luna, and then bring them back from Luna to Earth. It unlocks explore Mars and space docks. I believe these are the last 2 missions for the tutorial. 750k is our reward. Click OK. Oh, we can hide this. We're gonna hide the asteroid since they didn't prompt us. Okay, we're gonna click. Okay, so it wants us to open the research window. Research Stratos. Okay, and then we're gonna wait. Okay, we're gonna X out, and then we're gonna wait 2 times speed. So now we just wait. Stratos. Okay. So we're gonna construct Stratos, construct Eagle. I thought it gave the tutorial explained to build it. I guess not. I guess it makes sense because we already know how to do this. So it's a handoff for that. We just gotta wait. Normally, I assume this is where, I guess, what's it called? I assume this is where, you're assuming the player will create probes and all that, which makes sense. The player should at this point, since they're not getting tutorial information, but technically the tutorial still is in session. Technically. So begin planning a mission by pressing the plan mission button. Alternatively, you can drag. Okay, we know that. We're gonna drag. No, we're not gonna drag. We're gonna plan mission, and we're gonna do Luna. Luna. Ending. We continue. Make sure Strauss selected, as other spacecraft won't be able to add the crew. And this is where it says to load all the extra stuff that you would have already built. But since it's a tutorial, it is kind of confusing because what modules would have I built? Obviously, like I said, common sense. I go to the modules and I would see, oh, I need to get mining drills, construction, and if I want to establish a base there, which technically I would, and extra stuff, but for the tutorial, I didn't do any of that extra stuff. I just want to follow the tutorial strictly. Okay, we're gonna make sure Eagle is selected. Okay, plan the mission. Plan the mission. Okay, this has crew, so we're gonna schedule on pause and doing a landing, and then touchdown. Our crew has successfully landed on Luna. Now it's time to bring them back. Open Luna object panel. We can now begin the return trip plan. Select Earth. Oh, whoops. I don't know if I brought this. Nah, I'm not gonna bring it up. So, what's this? Luna return. We're gonna select Stratos. Don't forget the crew. And go next. The Stratos engines are powerful enough to escape Luna's weak gravity on their own. We don't need a launch vehicle this time. I feel like I said this in the first one. Maybe a tip on to leave Luna back to Earth with low, so you can have a little surplus of fuel on Luna every time ships are going back and forth. They can always leave fuel. Maybe that won't be good for the tutorial, as that might encourage people to do this, but like This technically is useful only in certain aspects where fuel won't be generated. Like Luna, in the long term, will produce its own fuel, but maybe for like the now, in case you need it, like you send a ship and forget that, oh, you're not refining fuel at the moment. You have some fuel maybe. I mean, it won't be enough, but like I assume like after some leftover, it'll have some effect in the long term. But for now, we're just gonna have everything unchanged, and we're gonna click OK, and then we're gonna unpause and wait. Um, explore Mars. Oh, contract completed. Lunar landing. The crew landed successfully with no issues. The news is already talking about this. We made history today. It's been decades since anybody achieved this. Okay. Well, that was fast. Construct a launch vehicle. Okay, so explore Mars. Look further out. Mars is the next closest planet worth visiting. Let's examine it up close for potential use and resource. We're gonna construct the Falcon, the Eris, the probe on Earth. Then we're gonna deliver the probe to Mars. Okay, and then we're gonna make the space dock. Contract space dock. Having to launch our spacecraft from the surface severely limits our design. A way to construct them directly in orbit will allow for spacecraft specialized exclusively for navigating orbit to orbit. Okay, so we're gonna have to build and then deliver it from Earth to Earth's orbit, along with all the supplies to build the orbital shipyard. Okay. So we're gonna... I believe this is the last two missions of the tutorial, where the tutorial won't help me anymore. So if that is true, then this stream will end when these are completed. Unless a tutorial pops up again. Okay, so we're gonna construct the Iris. Okay, so we're gonna make a probe. The orbital construction. Iris. Falcon, and then we're gonna do a mission. Let's make sure we have our resources. 150. We have enough. Polymers. 110 chips. Enough. We're gonna plan a mission. Space dock. We're gonna name it Orbital Ship Yard Flies. Okay, we're gonna select Earth's orbit. We're gonna do payload since we don't need the Stratos. Add resource. What is it? Alloys 150. Electronics 25, and polymer 50. Then we're gonna click next, and then Eagle, and then we're gonna launch. Yes, we're gonna launch, and then I believe we wait. Normally, I would have already explored other stuff. I would have sent probes to Luna, already to Mars, way ahead. By the time I've gotten this mission, it would have already probably been there. But for tutorial's sake, I'm just trying to be strict and just follow what is given. or what is instructed, so to say. Okay, we're gonna go 4 times speed. Okay, we can... Oh, Falcon to launch the probe? That doesn't make sense, but... Oh, it's because they expect me to launch with other stuff. You see, this is where I feel like that, I mean, I guess the tutorial wouldn't have to explain that, but... This is where I have to put my own, brain to the metal. Anyways, but... We're not gonna send extra stuff, we're just gonna send a probe. Oh, I forgot to... Oh no, that's still in construction. Okay, open the mission planning panel. Oh, the door is still in fact. Okay. Select your destination. Okay, select Mars. Mars probe. Click next. Okay, select a spacecraft for the mission. Then go, this is a probe mission, so I'll only use the iris. Click to add probe. Select probe, you can proceed. Select the newly built reusable launch vehicle, Falcon. It cannot carry as much as the Eagle, but it is more efficient if you're only launching a small payload. So the Falcon. Here's the portal plot. Used for interplanetary transfers. For more information, check the... What is this? The I button? Where's that? Oh, right here. For now, we only have basic rockets, so press the optimal button and plan the mission. Okay, important info. Transfer window. Transfer window is the best time to launch a ship from one planet to another. The trip is faster and uses the minimum amount of fuel. That's because the planet moving around the sun at different speeds and sometimes line up just right for an efficient flight. These windows don't happen all the time, so if you miss one, you'll have to wait a few months for the next one or spend more propellant to get there. Low-key, I get this, the concept of this, but I wish it was like I wish you had alternatives of ways to transfer out. Maybe like using the moon as a slingshot. Or using I believe I don't remember which some planets are used to create like a loop, like infinite loop that speeds up said objects in space using planetary gravity, or what would it be called? It's called gravity assist. Using gravity assist to launch and all that would be interesting, as I feel like it would allow high risk reward, as if you don't plan it right, it can crash and destroy the said thing. But that might lead to more complicated features, if to be honest, if you really think about it. But that was just me yapping about some feature that I feel like would be cool to see. Okay, so we're gonna launch. We're gonna click optimal. Okay, we're gonna do optimal. So hurry, getting distracted. So we're gonna hit optimal. We're not gonna zoom in. I normally zoom in because it gives a few days, from what I've noticed. But we're gonna just launch. Yep, we're gonna launch, and then I have to wait for this. We're gonna wait. And we're gonna launch orbital construction. Orbital construction module. We're gonna choose the orbital, eagle, and launch. We're gonna wait. We're gonna go faster. Still haven't gotten stipend. I think after this, we get a stipend. I'm pretty sure. Okay, so... what am I doing? Earth orbit. I feel like, oh, this should be something. I guess not. It doesn't. But, maybe since people might be using Earth orbit a lot, maybe during this tutorial, maybe have people go to the orbit and then encouraging them to click this so that, boom, it's just easy. The long run. And encourages them to use the favorite object for practical uses. Instead of letting people, it's okay to have people figure it out, but like, would be nice to have a heads up. At least for a new person, it would be a nice heads up. We're gonna build the orbital shipyard, and then we're gonna go back. Oh, 2022. Okay, so contract completed. Space dock is ready. This is where we'll build our future interplanetary vehicles. Unlock contract. Lunar depot required to unlock human on Mars. Unlock cyclical missions. Okay, so Lunar depot. It was once said that once you're in orbit, you're halfway to anywhere. This makes it the ideal place for a refueling point for any flights to the outer system. To keep the depot stocked, make sure to set up cycle mission from a fuel production base on place such as Luna or Deimos. It's cheaper than launching. Wait. Make sure to set up cycle mission from a fuel production base on places such as Luna or Deimos. Oh, I didn't. Oh, I never. I guess I should have read when I first because when I first played Solar Expanse in general, the first playthrough I did without the tutorial. The second playthrough I did with the tutorial, I read through some of it, but I never read this part. This is a good info. Such as Luna. I mean, the Luna is obvious, but the Deimos, I didn't know, but now I know. Cheaper than launching from Earth's surface. Oh, okay. Okay, I think I get it. I feel like, okay, deliver the, we're gonna need to make the refinery, pro mining module. It's not saying how much, so I'm just gonna make one. It's gonna be a pain though, in the long run, having only one. So mobile refinery, mining module, and then plan cycling. So we're gonna go to Earth, construct modules, mobile refinery, one mining module. Actually, we're gonna do two. Okay, we're gonna speed up. Okay, then we're gonna launch. Yep, we're gonna launch. Stratos. Okay, so we're gonna add our refinery and 2 mining modules. We're gonna click next. Eagle. Yep. And then full capacity schedule. Speed. Okay, plan cyclo mission now. Earth orbit. Okay, fuel transport. Fuel. Optimal. Normally I do after 1, but like, as this isn't saying anything specific, I'm just gonna allow never. Okay, Lunar Depot. With fuel production on the moon, we have a outpost for further excursion into deep space. Now we can really show what we're capable of. 800k moon base alpha unlock. Moon base alpha. A moon base will greatly benefit our exploration efforts as a forward base outside of our steep gravity well. Construct a outpost on Luna, fuel refinery on Luna, water ice extract on Luna, and solar array on Luna. And 10 crew. And we get 1 million. Okay, we're gonna wait for the loot for Mars probe. And then if tutorial doesn't pop up again, I think that ends the tutorial phase. So this launches this year. I know normally I would have to send stuff, but I'm gonna wait just for this. I think we got our we got our stipend. I think after this we get a stipend of about 1k. Okay, approaching. Okay. Contract complete. Explore Mars. Air brake maneuver and soft landing went off without a hitch. We're receiving our first photos of the red planet. Great job. Everyone will have a wealth of information on what resources we can find on the planet. Unlock contract preparation for human landing on Mars. 500k reward. Okay. Preparation for human landing on Mars. Sending probes to Mars is easy, but sending humans is a lot harder. When you know they have to return, we need to prepare for such a mission by establishing a facility ready for crew arrival on the red planet. Okay. And I think this is where the tutorial ends, as no more insight. Honestly, I think the tutorial leads good, but it leads slow, because at during this point in the stage I already completed these missions. But if it's supposed to be slow for the first playthrough, it makes sense in gen, if that's the intention, unless you want like people to have a tutorial on every time they play. Maybe more interactability, maybe. I feel like there should be more interactability in the beginning though, because but it does make sense. Like if it's the tutorials, if tutorials are specific to said groups like Solex, um yeah, if it's like a tutorials are intended to be kind of specific toward companies, then this would make sense to do that slow approach, sending stuff one by one, especially since this is a renewable rocket company. So like it's okay to kind of go slow, but um I guess that depends on how you want the tutorial. Do you want people to have a slow start to really grasp what's happening, or do you want them to explore and grasp as they continue? Which is kind of how the tutorial is now. You have to kind of uh, click around and explore on your own, and also read and follow. Like if you follow the first, you kind of get the hitch of what you're supposed to do, but you don't really know how to establish. Even though these tell you to establish all these, you technically can't use this, or I mean, you can't use certain things. Like you can build all this and send crew on oh, this isn't Mars, on Luna, but you run into the problem of food, which isn't already established on Earth, because you have to quite literally buy everything. The tutorial doesn't really give you an explanation, deep dive on how these function, like besides like, because obviously there's more than just upkeep. There's electricity usage, how much this facility is using. There could be I'm pretty sure there's a multiplier if there's multiple of one facility, because when one playthrough I had 4 of these, and it went from upkeep of $10 for one to 4,100 something, but that also could be because of this, where I think I have to mine less than 1 ton and I don't get a license fee. I think. Although I don't know if that's what the license costs mean. I assume that's what it means. If I'm extracting 1 ton, then I get hit with this fee per extractor, I assume. Hence why this happened. There's 1,600 times 4. Let me do some math. 1,600 times 4, 6,400. Okay, so no, that's kind of off. I don't know. There's some multiplication or factor with amount of buildings compared to other stuff. And also sometimes producing water, like sometimes I see the consumption. I'm kind of getting, I just realized I'm sidetracking from what this whole video was, or stream was supposed to be intended for, which is a tutorial. Okay, so I'm assuming this is where the tutorial ends, as there's quite literally nothing popping up, and the last tutorial was underway already. I'm gonna stop this here, but if I end up being wrong, I will make another one and upload that as well. So, well, this is where this ends.